Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Narwhal. This is an Imperial Stout that is barrel aged, and it is brewed by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review, and today we are looking at Narwhal. This is a barrel aged Imperial Stout by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. And they are from, what does it say? Chico, California. So let's see, what does it say? Family owned, operated, and argued over. I like that. That's sort of cute on the can. Deep in our barrel room, out of light's reach, our legendary Narwhal Imperial Stout rests in bourbon barrels for nearly a year. After aging, it emerges anew with, oh, okay, and there's some tasting notes, and I'm going to avoid that. So let's open this up, see how it is. I like a good barrel-aged stout, and this is 11.9% ABV, so that's pretty hefty as far as ABV goes. Now, I have let this warm up, and I am using a stout glass, which I've spent a ridiculous, ooh, you can smell the bourbon already, and I just opened the can. I spent a ridiculous amount of time cleaning this glass to make sure that it was good for the camera, and I'm hoping that it is good for the camera. So it seems like fingerprints are my biggest enemy. All right. And so we're getting a really dark pour here. This is pitch black. A little bit of a head, probably about a pinky finger's worth of head. It's sort of a khaki color. The bar is just filled with the aroma of bourbon. You would have thought that I had opened one of the bottles of bourbon behind the bar, and that's not the case. It's just the beer. And honestly, the glass overall looks pretty good. So got some lacing on the side and definitely some legs there. This is clinging to the inside of that glass. I don't know if the camera picks it up. I've never actually looked, but it is there. You'll have to trust me on that one. Let's check out the nose. There's that bourbon sweetness right off the top. Sort of that oakiness that I like in a barrel-aged stout. I'm getting something else too. I almost feel like there's a hint of maybe some vanilla there. Yeah. Yeah, this is sweeter. The aroma, at least, is sweeter than most of the barrel-aged stouts that I've had recently. Yeah, there's sort of that oakiness to it. There's that sort of, the bourbon is the forward aroma. So you get that oaky sort of charred aroma of the bourbon. But there's some sweetness to it also. I want to say it's the vanilla. I'm not sure. All right, you know what? I could smell the glass all day long, but I'm going to taste it and let you know how it goes. So let's see. All right. The nose was a little deceptive. I feel like the nose had a lot more to it than the stout itself does. It's not saying that the stout is bad, really. It's very alcohol forward. I'm not getting like that ethanol taste to it, but the bourbon is the dominant flavor here. So there's that oakiness. There's sort of the char of the barrel. There's a certain type of, it's not bitterness. It is bitterness a little bit, but okay, so bourbon on the front end, definitely you can taste the alcohol in this one. It's not overwhelming, but I do think it takes a little bit away from the overall flavor of this. I'm getting the oakiness on the front end, that is the bourbon. I'm getting a hint, just the barest hint of vanilla. And I want to say, and it's going to sound nuts, but it's almost like a coconut flavor. Not a lot, just a hint. And that could just be me. The carbonation here is nice. It's enough to sort of open it up as it goes down. The problem I have is that I don't find these flavors to be like overly compelling. It's a standard barrel aged stout with, I think, a little bit too much of a heavy hand when it comes to the alcohol. The burn starts in the throat, the burn goes all the way down to the belly. It's not that slow bloom you get from some of the others that are out there. You know, I mean, on this channel, we've looked at, you know, stuff that was 17, 18%, and they're deceptively smooth. I don't find this quite as smooth. It's almost like the bourbon barrels that they're using. It's like a younger type of bourbon. It's not an unenjoyable stout. I just don't think it's my stout. A little bit of bitterness on the back end, which I actually enjoy. And it takes away from that sort of overwhelming alcohol flavor. So let me see what the tasting notes say here. After aging, it emerges rich with notes of oak. I got that. Vanilla, I think it's a bit. Oh, okay, they say there's a little bit of coconut here, and I'm just getting the barest hint, almost like when I exhale, that sort of secondary flavor run you get when you exhale and it goes through the nostrils is there, and there's just a hint of coconut. I personally find this a little harsher than I would like it to be, a little more of a burn than I would like it to be, almost like there's too much char. Now, I've had other stuff by Sierra Nevada, and, you know, some of it's been very good and some of it has been okay. This is good. It's not something if I saw in a bar I would turn my nose up at, especially if it was the only stout there. But I do think the alcohol is a little too forward for my flavor. If you're the type of person that doesn't want that subtlety of the alcohol, like you want to know that you're drinking a stout that's got a heavy-duty ABV, then this is probably good for you. If you're more into sort of the oaky flavor, and the burn, then this is probably the stout for you. Now, is this the stout for me? I don't think it is. Again, is it bad? No. Am I going to dump this out? No, I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to enjoy it. But it's just a little too harsh for my taste. And this is the first time I've seen it. I've seen Narwhal on the shelves before, but I've just never gotten around to actually buy it because the only thing I ever think of Sierra Nevada with is IPAs, and I'm not an IPA person, so I never really gave their stout much of a thought. This one, like I said, there is a consistent burn here that is just not as enjoyable. I feel like it takes away from the flavor. Again, is it a good stout? Yeah, I think this is something for the type of person who drinks a lot of high ABV stouts, or someone who's just into bourbon, because this is much more of the bourbon flavor profile than I would get from the stout profile. It's much more alcohol forward. It's not bad, it's just not my thing. You know, would I have it again? I think I have 3 more cans, so I'm going to drink it. I'm going to share it with people, see what other people think about it. But this one is just, you know, definitely not the one I'm looking for as far as stouts go. I think, did Sierra Nevada do the General Taylor's, was that it? Yeah, the Colonel Taylor's was Sierra Nevada, and that was very good. So they do some good barrel-aged stuff. This one, like I said, I feel like, I don't know if the barrels were a little younger than I would have liked, or what it is, quite honestly. I just feel it's a little too harsh, a little too much of the burn. So, you know, I don't often say this, like, would I go out and buy this again? Probably not. Would I recommend it to somebody? I think everybody should try everything. So, you know, is this worth picking up a can and giving it a try? It is. And if you're a person who likes sort of that burn that goes with, you know, well, no, how do I put it? If you're the person who likes more of an alcohol-forward stout, this is probably the stout for you. I like the alcohol to be a little bit back. I like there to be a little bit more to the roastiness. So this, you know, just doesn't land for me, but it doesn't mean that it won't land for other people. So anyway, folks, I am going to sit back, enjoy this one, and I have let it warm up, so I think this is probably, you know, the level of flavor you're going to get from it. Yeah, it's just a little too harsh for me. But again, not bad, just not my particular flavor point. Anyway, folks, if you've had Narwhal by Sierra Nevada and you disagree, I'd love to hear your opinions. You know, should I let this warm up more? Do you agree? I'd love to get any feedback. If you have a favorite barrel-aged stout, you know, other than Goose Island, because I have a stack of that here, and I'm gonna be doing a Goose Island review later this week, actually. I'd love to hear it. I'm always looking for new stouts, particularly the barrel-aged variety. But with that, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good night, and I will see you next time. Hey, if you like the review, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.